Here we are, Friday night, CBC building. She's all decked up. Maybe they'll get the message, right? 150 doctors so far in Canada died since the rollout of the Pfizer, Moderna, mRNA jabs. So when they come to work, this is what they're going to see. The country is in distress. Then we went all around the other side. I'll go over there after. And here's the chart. Houston, stop the shots, bye. Anyway, quick read of the letter. Reported on April 22nd, marks the 150th Canadian doctor to die suddenly or unexpectedly since the COVID, Pfizer, and Moderna mRNA rollouts. 44-year-old Dr. Shanda Corbett of Ontario died suddenly of a heart attack while on vacation. She was an OBGYN and fertility doctor. That would be her right down here. That is her. 150th doctor, Canadian doctor, to die suddenly. Right? Okay, so overall Canadian physician mortality in 2022 has 53% higher than 2019. However, as with all excess mortality data in highly COVID-19 vaccinated jurisdictions, this mortality is heavily skewed towards the younger age groups, with the youngest doctors being medical students or residents under the age of 30, dying at a 900% higher rate in 2022 compared to 2019 and 2020 average. In 2021, Canadian doctors were mandated to be fully vaccinated with COVID in order to keep their jobs. Very few escaped these mandates, no exemptions given. Since the rollout of the vaccine in December 2020, a total of now 150 actively practicing Canadian doctors under the age of 70 have died suddenly or unexpectedly. Most every province and territory have lifted the mandate's primary series of jabs in order to work in the healthcare system. Many who choose not to take the mandatory medical treatment find themselves on the outside, whether they quit, took early treatment, or went on retirement, or went on unpaid leave. They are basically suspended indefinitely in their careers with no income since the province introduced a policy requiring healthcare workers to be vaccinated 17 months ago in Nova Scotia. Right now, the Healthcare Authority has more than 1,000 nursing vacancies. At the same time, the province is spending tens of millions of dollars bringing in travel nurses to work at hospitals and nursing homes across Nova Scotia. They are paid twice what the Nova Scotia nurses are making right now. In March, Tim Houston said he announced a slew of incentives to lure nurses to the province to keep the ones we have. Not a word, though, about bringing back unvaccinated healthcare workers, even though every other province except BC has done so. But rumor has it that BC is reconsidering rehiring. I have no confirmation on that yet. The Health Minister of Health and Wellness, I don't know what wellness she promotes, but it's nothing healthy, that's for sure. Michelle Thompson said the mandates remain in place on the advice from team of Nova Scotia Public Health and Infectious Disease Specialists. She said she meets regularly with them, but could not explain the basis for their advice. I can articulate exactly what the science is. We have to trust that it is the right way forward. The mandate implemented in November, the government justified in two ways. First, it could help reduce the risk of transmitting the virus to vulnerable patients and the other healthcare workers. And the second reason given at the time was that the unvaccinated workers are more likely to become seriously ill. However, the unvaccinated workers have the potential to cause greater staffing shortages and burden on the healthcare system, according to Nova Scotia COVID mandatory vaccination protocols and high-risk setting policies. Nova Scotia Health Minister this week wouldn't comment on an independent review of the policy. She also couldn't explain why unvaccinated pose a greater risk in the workplace compared to healthcare workers who received only 2 shots. In the fall of 2021, the government said the vast majority of provincial healthcare workers have taken the shots. About 750 were unvaccinated, but another 2,000 workers did not report their status. Thompson says there are no immediate plans to drop the mandates. Those stats need to be shared with the public, says Liberal leader Zach Churchill. He also says the healthcare minister has an obligation to explain clearly why the mandate remains in place and scientific basis for that decision. The province's ailing healthcare system cannot afford to keep workers on the sidelines indefinitely without good reason, he said. If the government is going to maintain this policy, we at least have a right to know what the evidence is, but we haven't heard from public health in months, Churchill said. We want to hear from the experts, we want to hear from public health, and Dr. Strang has to say on this. One thing that I know for sure right now is that in Nova Scotia, the population is about 1 million. In July of 2022, the doctor wait list had 100,000 patients. In August, a month later, it went up to 105,000. In October of 2022, it went up to 116,000. As of February 2023, 13.5% of Nova Scotians are on the Family Practice Registry. That's 133,595 people who need a family doctor. That is an increase of 17,595 in just 4 short months. 16,098 in Cape Breton alone, and that's up 32%. How can that be? How can more and more people are needing a family doctor in Nova Scotia? Has our population grown that much in 4 months? Or perhaps more and more doctors are fed up with the current system, the staff shortages, perhaps some sudden death is also depleting our doctor pool. Currently, the jabbed doctors are dying while the unjabbed doctors are all fired. And get this, people, the latest reason Tim Houston is giving that the reason they aren't rehiring back those placed on unpaid leave, he says because those currently working in the healthcare system don't want them back. Well, that is a bold-faced lie. I've spoken to several nurses currently working in the system, and guess what, Tim? They want their 40-hour-a-week back. They want their days off back. They want their vacations back. So yes, the current staff want Houston and Nova Scotia Health Authority to rehire those they placed on unpaid leave so that they can have their lives back without being overworked, stressed out, and desperately in need of mental health days. So today we acknowledge those who have lost their lives to this mandated medical treatment that does not do what it was promoted to do, which our Dr. Strang kept saying is safe and effective. The benefits outweigh the risk. However, that is also both a lie, isn't it? The facts are out, and our leaders have lied to their citizens about this treatment. It is not safe and effective. Many have suffered severe adverse events from that shot, and doctors who tried to submit the adverse events to Health Canada, especially deaths, are being dismissed at the provincial level. Therefore, Health Canada is not stating the true facts. Why the cover-up? Why? How can all mandates be lifted except for certain demographics and still without any evidence to back up their claims? That those without the shot are more susceptible to getting the virus when in fact jabbed and unjabbed, like Pfizer already stated, those shots did not prevent the spread of the virus. If you check the provincial government stats, you will see those who are currently in the healthcare system as patients are those that have had the primary series or more. Even their own stats state that it is those who are jabbed that are continuing to get the COVID, and more than once, while unjabbed, who may have had the COVID are now protected by natural immunity. Tim Houston, you lied. You said you would fix the healthcare system? Well, you broke it even more and worse. You won't admit that you were wrong. 9 provinces and territories have all rehired their healthcare workers. What makes this province different? What science are they going by? If they are going by the Health Canada, is Health Canada saying that Nova Scotia is a higher risk in their hospitals than any other hospital in Canada? No. So, Houston, Strang, Thompson, time to rehire our frontline heroes and do the right thing. Bribing staff to stay will not correct the staffing shortages. By rehiring those who are already trained and know their patients would help tremendously in getting staff shortages lowered and perhaps keeping some of our hospitals open. Right now, let us take a moment of silence in memory of those, not only doctors, but everyone who has lost their lives due to this mandatory medical treatment in order to have a job in the healthcare system. Thank you. We should be protecting our healthcare workers, our doctors and nurses, not putting them at risk with a shot that does not do what it was intended to do. With all the evidence coming out from the Pfizer documents and Freedom of Information requests coming out, our leaders should be all charged with genocide. They knew, and yet they continue to promote that jab, making it mandatory. Therefore, they are guilty of murder, in my opinion. Reinstate our frontline heroes. Sign the petition if you haven't yet. Give me a holla. Okay, everyone, I'm just gonna take this video around to the side and we'll go see the other side of the building. 150 Canadian doctors died suddenly or unexpectedly. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. Now we're coming around. It'd be nice if this made the newspaper or something. But I'm sure mainstream won't be seeing this. Each little one of these cards represents one doctor that died. 150 so far. Unbelievable. I'll put them in every little spot here. Little spot here. I hope they're not coming for me. Alright. That's it. That was my evening. Adios, people.